Whether you're investing long-term or day trading, it's crucial for you to stay ahead of the market. It's important you know what is about to hit the market so you are always prepared. In this video, we are going to look at how you can take advantage of upcoming economic data to stay ahead of the market. Most of the data and platforms we are going to look at in this video are geared towards the US stock market. However, you can use this same approach for almost any market in the world. Now think about this. Let's say you've seen a video of someone talking about a particular stock and you want to also buy it. However, you don't know if this is the right time to buy it or not. Now the question is, what do you do in such a situation? A lot of people will just jump in and go with the sentiment to buy the stock because after all, everybody is saying this is a great stock to have. However, pro investors and traders will analyze that particular stock and look at the data and know when it's best to buy and also when they should sell this particular stock. And that is the purpose of this video. There are three classical ways to analyze the market. There is technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and sentimental analysis. Technical analysis involves data. You will review past data, you look at the charts, the heat maps to understand what is happening with this particular stock or asset. So you'll be able to tell what this particular asset is going to do in the next 24 hours, in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year. You're basically looking at data. With sentiments, you are basically going with what people are saying. So the key influencers in that particular industry or market, whatever they say regarding that could also affect the market because a lot of people are going to react based on that message. So if, for example, a lot of well-known investors and traders are talking about a particular asset and then they are mentioning where that particular asset is going to go in the next, maybe let's say 2 years or 3 years, a lot of other people are going to follow this guideline and then come up with a theory that will help them analyze the market and then also take their own trades or purchase their own assets. By analyzing what a lot of pro traders and investors are saying and then digging out what that might mean in the market basically means you are following the sentimental part. Now, that is not the most important part of this video. The most important part is fundamental analysis. With fundamental analysis, you are looking at economic data. You are looking at what the governments are doing. You are looking at geopolitical happenings. You are looking at wars. You are looking at tariffs and all of that. Okay, so what data points are we looking for? Well, we're looking for market moving news and events that if we are aware of, we can prepare for what's about to happen. Okay, now for us to be able to do this, we need to understand the specific ones we should prepare for. So in the US specifically, there is a monthly release of NFP, which is the non-farm payroll, which tracks the number of people who are employed versus those who are not employed and reports on that on a monthly basis. Okay, now it's not something that you need to go and binge learn this particular NFP, understand how it works and all of that. I'm going to take you through a platform that will even help you understand what the data points is going to look like and then what to also expect in that particular monthly release. Okay, the simplest way you can track this is by using forexfactory.com, and that's what I'm using in this particular video. Okay, so if you go to forexfactory.com and then you select calendar, all right, over here, you'll be able to see upcoming events that are going to impact the market. You just have to pay attention to when this is going to happen. So the date column, you're looking at the date when these events are going to happen. And then the next thing is to also look at the time the news or event is going to take place. And then aside that, you also have to look at the currency, okay? So over here, there is the currency section, which you also have to pay attention to. Now, the most important part is the impact, okay? Now, you see that on the impact side, we have all of these sections in yellow or amber, okay? Now, when you see it in yellow or amber like this, it means that is a low impact news and it means it's not going to have any major effect on the market, okay? Now, if it's orange, like this one, it means that it's going to have a slight impact on the market. It's a medium impact news or event, okay? But if it's red, then it means it's going to have a higher impact on the market. And for us, we are interested in high impact news, so red is what we are looking for, okay? Now we have to make sure that the currency that is having this impact is the same market that we are having our asset in. So in this case, for example, if you're investing in the US stock market, then you are looking for US specific impact news. Okay, so we are going to look for USD and then some of the impact that's going to happen. So if we go to 10th of April 2025, you realize that at 12:30 p.m. there are a couple of high impact news coming. You see them in red here. There's CPI and then unemployment claims. These are coming out around 12:30 p.m. Now, for us to understand what this basically means, we can now go to the details side of things, okay, and then we tap on this folder icon here. It's going to explain to us what this impact means, okay. Now, here it says change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers, excluding food and energy. Actual greater than forecast is good for currency. Released monthly about 16 days after the month ends. So it's giving you a brief about this particular news or impact, and then it's going to tell you what to expect, okay. So if we look at today, which is Tuesday, 8th of April, you realize that at 5:45 p.m. Central American time, the president is going to speak, okay? So we see this in amber, then we can click on the folder icon. So we open the folder icon to see what this is about. Then over here, there's view full details for US President Trump speaks. So we're going to tap on that. So here on this details page, we will find other information regarding the history of, US President Trump's speeches. So we've seen a couple of them that he has had in the past, okay. Now we also look at some of the news that has been published surrounding this upcoming release or upcoming event. So from here, you'll be able to understand what he's probably going to talk about, how it's going to impact the market and all of that, okay. Now, the most important part is that you know that this is going to happen around 5:45 p.m. today. So as a trader or an investor, you can look out for this happening. You look at the news, what he's going to talk about, is it going to affect the market or anything like that. However, over here, this is already color-coded as orange, which means it's not a high impact event, so you're not really going to expect too much, but it's Donald Trump, so you have to be on your toes, okay. The second platform we're going to look at is TradingView. TradingView is a great platform for technical analysis. You can also use it to assess economic data and a whole lot more, okay. This is a great platform I personally love, okay. Now, what we are going to do is, over here, we're going to look for markets, and then we're going to navigate to stocks. Now, under here, we can click screen all stocks to get a whole lot more, but let's just click NVIDIA from this list here. Now, from here, you'll be able to select between 1 day, 5 day, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 5 year, and a whole lot of other time frames to see what that particular stock is doing. In fact, let's come back to 1 month, and then down here, you're seeing that today we are having about 6.92% on this particular stock. However, for the past month, it's down by negative 4 point something percent. All right, so that will tell you what this stock has been in the past month, the past year, and whatever, versus what it's doing today. Aside that, if you scroll down here, there is the overview session telling you the key statistics. You can also see the news that is affecting this particular stock, okay. You see all the economic news that's happening here. You see all the stuff that you need to know regarding this particular stock. Now, if you go to Minds, you see what other people are coming up around this particular stock, what people are saying. Now, if you switch from Minds to Ideas, you will now be able to see trading setups that people have put together regarding this particular stock. So if you click on this, for example, so this person has done this analysis, as you are seeing here, and it's giving you a prediction what this market is going to do. So as you can see, there are no new candles here because we are still in today, and this analysis is for the future. So we are waiting for the future candles to come up, and then we'll see if this particular analysis is actually going to work or not. For now, we just see this as, a signal. So from this ideas session, you see a whole lot of trading ideas, investment ideas that people are putting up regarding this particular stock. So you can look at them, and then you can also build your own analogy around it based on your own analysis. Okay, so you can go through them this way. Now, if you move from there, you can now tap on this particular chart icon here to give you a different view from the line to maybe a better candle view. Okay, now you can now move between the different time frames to see what this market is telling you. So for long-term investors, if you had invested in this particular stock in the last 12 months, you would have made about 70% on this particular stock already, okay? If you had invested in this stock in the past 24 hours, you would have made 6%, all right? Now, if you come down to possibly 1 month, you realize that if you invested in this stock in the past 1 month, your investment would have declined to about negative 5%. Right, you have lost about 5% on your investment. All right, now that also means that if you're looking to invest, you should think about long term. However, for day traders and people who just trade the market and make their money as and when they see some profit, they can basically look at a 1 day preview, and you realize that if they had invested their money or entered a trade somewhere yesterday, then by today around this time they would have made 6% already from this market, which is a great move. Okay, this doesn't happen often. This is happening because of the tariffs that Trump is announcing and a whole lot of stuff that's happening in the market. Okay, normally the market will not simply give you 6% in a 24-hour window. However, when there are big news, as I'm telling you that knowing this will help you stay ahead of the market, you'll be able to now detect when the market is going to have these sharp moves, so you prepare for it. Okay. TradingView also comes with a super chart that is amazing for analyzing the particular stock that you want to trade. That is more on the price action and technical analysis side of things. Okay, so we will have a deep dive on that in a later video. If you want to day trade stocks, if you want to look at day trading stocks and making profit from these day trading ideas or intraday trading ideas. Okay, so we will look at that in a separate video, but for this particular video we are focused more on how you stay ahead of the market by knowing what some of these high impact events are going to take place and then you preparing for them. All right, so as you've seen so far, if you're a trader or an investor, being able to stay ahead of the market will really impact how you make money from the market. Okay, so you have to be aware of some of these happenings so you prepare for it. If you are buying stocks, if you are selling stocks, if you are holding stocks, you need to be aware of some of these things. So of course you can create an account on forexfactory.com and then you'll be able to track some of these things. And then also you can use TradingView to get a deep understanding of what is happening with that particular asset that you want to invest in, being it a stock or any other commodity for that matter. You can use TradingView to analyze, to get a deeper understanding of it. My name is Alfred. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that already, and also like this video. Okay, if you have any comments, you can drop them down below. I'll see you in another video. I'm out.